Some stories start quietly. This one started with the sound of someone pounding on my car window before the sun was even up. I'll never forget that morning sitting in my driveway, engine still humming, when Cassidy Whitmore marched across my lawn in a silk robe, eyes on fire. Before I could even reach for my coffee, she was right there rapping hard on the glass perfume, sharp enough to sting voice even sharper. Move this junk or I'm calling the cops. No questions, no hello, just a threat and a smile like she'd already won. Did I argue? Not a chance. I just watched her dial, watched her make the show of it, phone out, smile growing. She wanted me to squirm, but I wasn't about to give her that satisfaction. 5 minutes and a crunch of gravel later, a patrol car rolled up. The officer stepped out, glanced at her, and then looked right at me. Morning, Chief. And that's when Cassidy's little victory parade came to a screeching halt. The blood drained from her face so fast I honestly thought she might pass out in her slippers. That's not even the wildest part. This 911 call wasn't just a neighborly spat. It ended up dragging federal agents into our small-town drama. So, for anyone out there who's had a neighbor try to weaponize the law over nothing, believe me, you've got company. And if you've ever wondered how far one person's spite can reach, buckle up. Let me paint the full picture. Name's Garrett Boone Bowe, if we're being friendly. I'm 43, Chief of Police for Willow Ridge County, and I've been in law enforcement most of my adult life. Grew up right here, bought my mom's old ranch house after she passed last year. Nothing fancy, just oaks, chain link fences, and a driveway with a weird L shape that's been a turnaround spot for half the street since I was a kid. My mom was the kind of neighbor who let folks park wherever made sense. I kept that tradition alive at least until Cassidy moved in next door. She was everything you'd expect from someone who makes a living consulting on luxury real estate, platinum hair, perfect nails, the kind of Mercedes that's more monthly payment than car. Her colonial was all white columns and overgrown roses twice the size of my place, and that seemed to get under her skin from the start. First week she's at my door. Your oak tree's shedding on my lawn. Trim it back. I offered to rake for her. She didn't even blink, just tightened her lips and let me know, I'm sure we can find a more permanent solution. It didn't take long for things to escalate. 3 weeks in, I pull up after a night shift, park my green '85 Bronco, the pride of my garage. Same spot as always. 47 minutes later, there she is banging on my door, silk robe flapping. Your truck is an eyesore. Park it somewhere else. I explained calmly as I could my driveway, no HOA, everything legal and registered. She rolled her eyes. I have important clients coming. And off she went, heels clacking like gunshots. I figured that was the end of it, but I underestimated just how determined some folks can be. That evening I come back from the store and there she is, phone out, dialing 911 right in front of me. There's a suspicious vehicle. The driver's refusing to move. I feel threatened. I called non-emergency myself just to have it on record. Stella, our dispatcher, sounded as confused as I felt. 10 minutes later, Officer McNally, my old partner, rolls up, takes her statement, then looks at me and says, Chief, you need anything else? Cassidy nearly choked. Chief, she stuttered. I want your supervisor. McNally didn't even crack a smile. Ma'am, you're looking at him. The look on her face, just pure disbelief. But even then, I knew she wasn't going to stop. Later that night, the air heavy with cut grass and summer heat, she tells me, You think a badge makes you special? I know people. This isn't over. That was her warning shot. I started keeping notes, dates, times, every strange thing that happened. Sure enough, it wasn't long before the noise complaints started. Saturday morning, I'm mowing the lawn with my electric mower quieter than a hairdryer. Dispatch calls Chief, there's a noise complaint. Officer Ramirez rolls up, tablet in hand. You're within the hours, all good. Cassidy's curtain twitches. 4 days later, there's a stranger with a survey vest in my yard. Cassidy hired him, said my fence was on her property. I pulled my certified survey fence is right where it's supposed to be. He agrees. 2 days later, I get a letter from her, remove the fence or face legal action. My buddy, the attorney, fires back, attaches the survey, suggests she check her facts. The stunts got more creative. Sprinkler heads smashed. My landscaping crew must have done it? She shrugs. Her crew is her nephew with a weed whacker. I documented all, file an insurance claim, let a deputy handle the report. Then came the social media attack, Facebook posts accusing certain residents of intimidation. No names, but a selfie with my house in the background. Some folks bought it. Mrs. Delacroix, who taught me 3rd grade, didn't. Maybe look inward, Cassidy. Neighbors backed her up. Cassidy deleted the post, but I kept the screenshots. By then it was clear she was building a case. Friday evening, I find an envelope taped to my door. Photos of me in uniform getting into my Bronco every day for a week. Public servants should set examples, the note said. That night I requested every call log for my address. 11 calls, all Cassidy, not one legitimate complaint. I added it all to the binder. Cassidy, though, wasn't working alone anymore. She got the ear of Supervisor Hollister, a county politician, always looking for headlines. She painted me as a rogue cop. He leaked her complaint to the local paper before I even saw it. Suddenly I was under investigation, accused before I could defend myself. It stung. But I kept quiet, handed over my binder, pages and pages of evidence, witness statements, audio recordings. It all came out in the review. Every single complaint was bogus. Cleared, but not before my reputation took a hit. Cassidy got desperate as the bills piled up and her house refused to sell. She tried to blame me for everything, even poisoned Mrs. Delacroix's dog. The vet found slug bait, but the doorbell caught Cassidy's nephew spreading it in her own yard. The wind did the rest. Mrs. Delacroix posted the footage. Neighbors rallied around me. She even called CPS on my brother, claimed his daughters were in danger near a dangerous individual. The investigator saw right through it, but the stress lingered. She started spoofing calls to cancel. My contractors stole my mail, tried to have my Bronco towed. I kept documenting. Then I started digging. Court records, property transactions, everywhere. She'd lived, trouble followed. Mortgage fraud. That's when I called the FBI. Turns out she'd run this game across 5 states. Bought a house, stirred up drama, flipped it, moved on before the law caught up. The FBI and DA coordinated federal charges for mortgage fraud, state charges for harassment. I played the part of the worn-down neighbor, gave Cassidy room to slip up. Neighbors documented everything. The town council meeting became her stage. She planned to destroy me in public. Halfway through her big speech, the FBI walked in, cuffs ready. Cassidy's world crashed down with the cameras rolling. Agent Reeves explained the investigation, multi-state fraud, stacks of evidence. I was just the unlucky neighbor who finally fought back. The room broke out in applause. Neighbors shook my hand. Mrs. Delacroix stood up. Garrett Boone's a good man. The DA filed state charges. Cassidy went straight to jail, no bail. 2 weeks later, the Okonkwo's bought her house. The street celebrated with a block party, music, food, laughter, kids in my driveway. Peace returned, and I slept soundly for the first time in months. We even put up a plaque, Freedom Driveway Park, where you live. I started a fund to help other harassment victims. 6 years federal, 3 supervised restitution ordered. Cassidy never apologized, but honestly, I just felt relief. A year after her first 911 call, we threw another block party. The sun set over Oakmont Drive, laughter echoing off every house. Mrs. Delacroix cracked a joke. No 911 calls this year, right? We all laughed, the kind that comes from hard-won peace. You know, I learned something through all this. Some folks will try to use every tool at their disposal to make themselves bigger by making you smaller. But if you stand your ground, keep your head, and trust your community, justice has a way of catching up. So here's a question for everyone listening. Have you ever faced off with a neighbor, an HOA, or anyone who tried to bend the rules to break you? What did you do? Drop your wildest story below. The best one gets featured next week. And if you like seeing poetic justice served, hit that subscribe. There's plenty more where this came from. Park where you live, know your rights, build your community,